Is it a plane?
In other news, there have been reports of large flocks of birds flying all over the city.
That's what I keep trying to tell everyone. It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's
hats and chats. It just has to be.
Sounds like a lot of...
Hoopla!
Sounds like a lot of...
Hoopla!
Sounds like a lot of hoopla over a little podcast, huh? Wrong! Hey, welcome to Hats and Chats.
Hey, guys.
Welcome. Friends, amigos, compadres.
My hand hurts from that slap.
Yeah, it's all red, too.
I tried to make it loud.
Yeah.
Looks like it's sizzling, too.
Well, that's just because I'm constantly on fire.
This
Makes
boy
sense.
is on fire!
Alright, so let's get through this week's comics.
Oh,
Yeah. Tell us.
You beautiful bitch.
Alright. Alright,
How rude.
this week in comics,
This week in comics.
today...
Can you believe this guy? Oh my god.
Alright, here we go. From Boom.
Boom.
They're releasing
Boom, bitch.
this year's Steven Universe special comic.
Steven Universe comics.
Yay!
And every year they have a special. This is 2016 special.
Mm-hmm.
And
So are the comics good?
they're popular.
I've never read the Steven Universe comics. I just watched the show.
Yeah, and you love the show.
I do love that show.
I mean, the fan...
Not so much of its extremely insane, rabid fandom, but I do enjoy the show.
Yeah, we talked about that a few times. What was the main thing that you were saying that...
Oh,
just about the fandom?
There was this one artist, I don't know her name, and even if I did know her name, I probably wouldn't say it, just out of respect, but basically, she took a character named Rose Quartz from the show, who is a fairly heavy-set woman. She's
Right.
a bit thick.
Uh-huh.
And she drew her, like, thinner than normal. Like, she drew, like, a picture of, like, her hugging hugging Greg, the father of her child, and Steven.
Uh-huh.
She was, like, hugging them, and then, like, people were like, oh, I can't believe you disgusting, thin, privileged bitch. You drew a fat character, not fat. You're worse than Hitler. Kill yourself. Drink bleach, faggot. And
Yeah.
they bullied her and attacked her until the artist actually attempted suicide. She's still alive, as far as I know, and, like, goddamn, that... Don't ever do that for any reason, people.
That's awful.
By the way, we are still rejoined by Kevin the Cockroach down under Caitlin's desk.
Yeah, I specifically didn't move him. I thought he added aesthetic, you know?
Aesthetic for a show that doesn't have visuals.
Shit.
What the fuck did you just whisper in the mic? I didn't hear you.
Shithead. You ruined the illusion.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, it was Frank. Come on.
Frank the Lint.
Frank the Lint Ball.
Yeah, you changed his insult, so I changed his name.
Yeah, Frank the Pocket Lint. Don't worry about it.
Oh my. Okay, so Boom Studios. Yep.
Boom Studios.
They did a thing. And
Yeah.
they made a Steven Universe
With the
comic.
Steven Universe.
And, I mean, the thing with the Steven Universe comics, from what I heard, they're pretty good. I heard from what I heard, I could be wrong, they're more like slice of life stories. Because the show is the plot.
Every episode, well, there are some episodes just about daily life in the Steven Universe home.
True, but the comics try to not make it, like, not try to interrupt the story of the show.
Yeah, a lot of things do
I mean,
that.
even when there's a lot of action in the show, it just has such a feel-good vibe overall.
The thing with Steven Universe, it feels like it's not, this is them during a horrible moment in their life. It just feels like this is a day in the life of the people in the universe home.
Right.
Like,
It's just like, this is their life. This is what they do.
It's very cute. Highly recommend.
Highly recommend you update your Java because it made a noise. Welcome to the world's most professional podcast.
said no one ever.
Right?
Everyone has seen a podcast, and when does it go all the way through without something happen?
As long as we're talking about how shit our podcast is, I just want to bring up something real quick. I don't know if you heard it, but I think I can hear your cat outside. He was meowing a while ago. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but I know I was hearing meowing.
That was just me.
Okay, cool. Just
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Caitlin's a cat.
Catlin.
I was literally. It's how my name is spelled. So
Catlyn.
She's a hyper.
close.
I
She's
know.
a hyper.
I had to fit a melody somehow.
Caitlin was a cat hyper evolved to be human,
Yeah.
like the original origin of Wolverine.
It explains why I can nap anywhere.
Cole, do you remember that?
She also never lands on her feet. She is an inverse cat.
Yeah. It's kind of a backward mutation that happened.
Yeah,
during
when
the
you
process.
add the human genes, it just turns into a fucking clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of clusterfuck, let's go to, let's see what's next on our list.
She coughs up skin balls every now and then.
Gross.
Yeah. It's pretty disgusting.
All right, so
You know how awkward that is?
Can you imagine the size of a human litter box? She just finds children's sandboxes to shit in.
And get out those flesh balls.
Oh god, can we change?
seriously, that okay? Not gonna lie, Flashball.
I meant change my clothes because it's getting hot in here.
Flashball sounds like a really gross D&D monster you come across. Like, in the dungeon, you encounter a flesh ball.
You attack the flesh golem. A piece of its flesh forms into a perfect sphere. It's a flesh ball.
Roll to not be grossed out. It won't hurt you.
Roll to not be aroused.
Only your game. Only yours.
Only when I'm a dungeon master.
All right.
Okay, so what's the next?
We're now going to DC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Action Comics 969.
There's a joke to be made there, but go on.
All right. Have you heard what Action Comics doing? It's actually pretty great.
Isn't it following the Chinese Superman?
No, that's the new Superman.
Oh, okay.
Action Comics follows Superman and Lex Luthor as a duo, as a team up. Because I'm not sure you know, but Lex Luthor is trying out the hero thing.
I'm gonna try this hero thing. I'm gonna be a bald Iron Man, because fuck
Like
it.
that time he tried it in Justice League Unlimited, but he was still a villain? I remember
what's
that.
funny? He's actually a member of the League. He's been a hero for a few years now. Like I looks like 3 after the events of Forever Evil.
Uh-huh.
And in the Rebirth,
Forever evil. I'm a good guy now.
I mean Forever Evil. The main villains were the Crime Syndicate.
I know.
But Luthor has a suit that was made on Apocalypse, and it's basically like he wears it. He's Kryptonian, and he has a cape that was from the New 52 Superman, who's dead in Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
So he has the cape of a dead Superman, and he's trying to be a hero.
It took a dead Superman to change Lex Luthor's perspective.
That's dark.
And he's
I literally, like, kind of crazy too. I brought up the Justice League thing.
Yeah.
Because I literally watched that episode today. Where it was like Billy Batson, Shazam had just become a part of the Justice League.
Oh yeah,
And-
that episode.
Yeah. And so Lex Luthor was running for president.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy Batson said, hey, I think it's kind of cool that, Lex Luthor has kind of turned a new leaf. And he wasn't really, like, endorsing him or anything. He was just saying, I think it's cool that a villain has kind of turned his life around.
Just giving his own opinion.
Everybody took it the wrong way, of course.
Yeah.
Like, publicity, media totally just blew it out of proportion.
Like they do.
And then, Superman gets all mad at Shazam. And it's a really crazy episode because it gets to such a point where Superman is so suspicious of Lex Luthor and Shazam is so about defending him and basically innocent until proven guilty is the mentality that he's taken. And then they end up fighting.
They have a Man of Steel moment.
Yeah, and it's insane. It's insane because
Property damage. I hope you have fucking superhero insurance.
It's such a great episode because, like, in the end, Billy Batson's like, he puts all of the heroes of the Justice League to shame because he's like, none of you are what I thought you were.
Yeah.
None of you are the people that I grew up believing in. That's insane.
Because like Lex Luthor was doing something that could be seen as shady because wasn't it like he was building a generator underground?
It was a generator.
And it was powered by kryptonite?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry. He told Superman, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you off first hand, but like,
this will power Metropolis.
Yeah, well,
so easily.
He said specifically, I was afraid of what you would think of it and stuff like that.
And it's just a kryptonite generator.
Yeah, and then you find out at the very end of the episode.
Okay, I worded that wrong. It's not a generator that makes kryptonite. It's a electrical generator for power, but it's powered by kryptonite.
Yes.
I worded that wrong.
Yeah. But, like, at the very end of the episode, you find out Lex Luthor actually still is a villain.
Of course
he just did the whole thing just to make Superman look bad.
Yeah, of course.
So...
Well, it was funny, the whole idea...
Have you ever seen the episode of Justice League where Lex Luthor and Flash switch bodies?
No.
It has one of my favorite moments. So Lex Luthor is in Flash's body. He zooms into the bathroom. He's like, okay, Lex, calm down. At least you could use this time to figure out the Flash's identity. He looks in the mirror, takes off the mask, and he just... I have no idea who this is. And then Flash in Lex Luthor's body goes to like a meeting of all these other supervillains.
Mm-hmm.
And like he goes to the bathroom, he walks out, and then another villain is like looking at the Flash, like Flash and Lex Luthor's body walk out of the bathroom. And the other villain, I forget who it is. I think it's just some random dude, some random like thug or something. And he just goes, "Hey, you gonna wash your hands?" And then Flash in Lex Luthor's body turns to the guy and goes, "No. 'Cause I'm evil."
But,
and he just has like
is
this.
It Barry?
It's Wally.
No, it's Wally. Yeah, it's Wally.
Oh,
Wally.
freaking Wally!
Just you gonna wash your hands? No, 'cause I'm evil.
But what's funny, the whole
and he just has this huge smug grin. It's fantastic.
The whole idea of Superman being suspicious of Lex Luthor is the main story arc in action, because the Superman in Rebirth is pre-New 52 Superman.
Mm.
And in his, being pre-New 52, Lex Luthor has always been a bad guy. He's never had the good guy face.
Right.
So going to another world where this Lex Luthor was a good guy, he's like, I don't know, I've seen this pattern before.
Right.
And so far, I mean...
No, he had every right to be suspicious. It was just, crazy, though, because...
It's Alexander Luthor!
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it was such a balance because I could really see where Billy Bats and Shazam was coming from.
Yeah.
Was because there was no...
It was meant to be a dramatic moment.
Yeah, there was no completely incriminating evidence. And so for Superman to be just all,
up in his grill.
Yeah. I mean, not giving him any sort of chance. And kind of the crazy thing, too, about Superman's character specifically, it was a character that was created to represent the grace of God. And so, the grace of God...
Yeah, a lot of, I wouldn't say it's really grace, but more like the power, because a lot of the symbols behind Superman, a lot of times, he'll fly and he'll be in, his arms will be spread in, a cross-like position, and he's usually, there is a ton of religious symbolism with Superman. He's supposed to be, a god among men.
Well, I'm saying, two guys who originally created him.
Yeah,
that was their intention, know, was to create this figure, specifically... during that time, when the whole world is
felt like it was falling apart.
The Great Depression, the rise of fascism in Germany, the rise of communism in Russia.
Well, you had fascism in Italy, and then you had Nazism, which is a whole new level. Yeah. So you got all that going on, and then these two Jewish boys in America are like,
hey, let's make a guy in blue spandex who punches things really hard.
Especially didn't help that I don't know if it was Jerry Siegel or the other guy. But one of their fathers was killed in a mugging.
Oh,
so
okay.
One of the creators just had a passion against crime because this took my dad.
Yeah, it was Jerry Siegel and Schuster.
Joe Schuster.
Joe Schuster. Yes. Yeah. But anyway, so I just think it's really crazy and interesting
to have this figure that is often compared to the divine make this mistake of judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's why I always like when Superman is involved with big, political stories or, stories involving morality. Because it's always interesting, because Superman is meant to be the Superman. Superman has caused so many, psychological analogs of fictional figures. The Superman, the one above all, this being of seemingly limitless power, standing amongst creatures infinitely weaker than him. It's an interesting figure to look at.
And it's also interesting that his arch nemesis, Lex Luthor, but his best friend's Batman. and they're both human.
Because it's a lot of, it's very interesting, like, especially with the series like One Punch Man, and you really see, like, a lot of people who, like, diss Superman say the character that Superman should be is more like Saitama, this jaded figure who doesn't really feel emotion anymore because he's so powerful, he just grows distant from everyone else. But that's not the kind of character Superman is. Superman, he's supposed to be, like, the perfect man.
He's supposed to be the paradigm.
He's
the ultimate paradigm for mankind.
The perfect man. He's stronger than everyone, smarter than everyone, faster than everyone, capable of doing anything.
He also has one of his greatest...
The Superman.
And yet he's humble.
Yeah.
He's humble about it.
Infinitely humble, kind, and wise.
He's both a living god and a farm boy from Kansas.
And that's why I hate when people shit talk Superman, the end. What's Marvel doing?
Well, Marvel can take their time. We gotta go to IDW.
Okay.
IDW, okay.
Oh, I'm so excited for this series.
What's up?
Optimus Prime solo series. Just all about him.
Okay, I can get behind that. I love me some Transformers. I actually just bought Transformers Devastation on Steam yesterday.
Have you tried it yet or no?
No, I just bought it.
But
what is it just what's
Transformers Devastation?
Yeah.
It's a Transformers beat 'em up. Like you're the Autobots and you go around like just smashing up. It's like a
it's G1,
is it 3D,
isn't it?
2D?
It's a 3D.
Okay.
It's like God of War but with Transformers.
Isn't it G1 as well? Isn't it like the first gen Transformers?
It looks like it. Like it's like the old Devastator design. Like I think like the first boss is Devastator.
Huh. Interesting choice.
How recent was the game?
Last year?
I want to say around like maybe early early to late mid last year.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
But you gotta say, like, up there with Superman, would you say one of the big people, fictional characters nerds look up to besides Superman is Optimus Prime?
Like there's a lot of figures that are like I almost said something that could be construed as really offensive. I almost said messiahs of like nerdism.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people could probably take some bad light from that.
Yeah.
But like, so let me word that a bit differently.
Paragons.
Like the figureheads. Like if there was to be a Mount Rushmore of nerdism, it'd be like
there you go.
Superman, Luke Skywalker, maybe Obi-Wan, just someone from Star Wars.
Right.
Captain Kirk, Optimus Prime.
Aslan.
I don't know.
I'm not I don't know.
Gandalf. How about Gandalf?
I'd say Gandalf's more deserving.
Yeah.
Gandalf. Either that or something from Harry Potter. I don't know, like, because both Harry Potter, like Tolkien and Potter fans are really hardcore.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's anybody from the Harry Potter series
that's like the face.
I mean,
of, like, the whole
obviously
series.
there's people that are the face. I mean, Harry Potter.
I meant like
face. But
the Paragons.
as for
like a virtuous
just a
character,
moralistic, virtuous.
Maybe Godric Gryffindor
or Dumbledore.
But he's not really. Yeah, I would say maybe Dumbledore. But here's the thing about Dumbledore is that he is Machiavellian, which means that he manipulates people
a little bit,
but he does it for the greater good.
Yeah.
So
Dumbledore, chaotic good wizard.
Honestly,
I'm just gonna make a D&D character just
and
play
when he
Dumbledore.
was a young man, he was actually not a good dude at all.
When he was younger, yeah, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but from you told me, he kind of sounds like an ass when he was a young kid.
When he was a younger, if you
before the beard.
Yeah, before.
I just
Dumbledore before the beard.
The new prequel novel.
Have you ever seen you know that MTV series Behind the Music?
Yeah.
I just Dumbledore behind the beard.
Behind the beard, it's like we go to different like wizards. So Merlin, Dumbledore, Gandalf.
Oh my god!
I'd watch that. I'd watch every episode. Behind the beard.
Anyway, Optimus Prime. Cole, should we mention your little Optimus Prime joke?
Oh, as long as I'm gonna piss off religious people. Okay. One time I was in a restaurant. I don't even remember where, but I was with Maverick.
Oh Lord, here we go. And now it's time for
Maverick Stories.
Maverick Stories.
Yeah.
Maverick.
Okay, so I was with my friends. I was with Maverick and one who shall remain nameless, and we were sitting down with our food, and I just took their hands. And I said, friends, let us say grace to our Lord and Savior, Optimus Prime.
It doesn't help the fact that Optimus Prime died and was resurrected.
Yeah, that did happen. Oh. Jesus robot.
So wait,
Jesus, robot.
So no, we got auto chooses and we got
Auto Jesus?
Jesus.
Auto Jesus.
Auto Jesus and Deceptijudas.
Judas.
Deceptive.
I mean, Megatron in
I
some
mean,
depictions.
I mean, there's
my.
also Naruto, aka Ninjesus.
Yep.
And then there's Sasuke, aka Ninjudas.
Oh my gosh.
Is this just National Piss People Off Day?
I guess. I don't know.
All right, let's move on.
Oh, God.
So yeah, Optimus Prime. Kind of excited to check
Okay,
it out.
yeah, solo Optimus Prime series. I'd be behind that, yeah.
All right, next we're going to Image.
Mm-hmm.
Magi.
Images.
We got Spawn 268.
Spawn! So what's happening in Spawn right now?
Spawn's finding his way through hell
Again.
to get his wife.
Gotcha.
It's on the highway to hell.
Well, he turned off exit 666, and now he's he's not on the highway to hell. He's on the low route to hell. He's
Back
kind
road
of
to hell.
he's in the traffic of hell.
He's in the traffic of
What are your
hell.
guys' thoughts on Spawn?
Waiting for the subway to hell.
So what's your guys' thoughts on Spawn?
In the gas station of hell. I like Spawn. Buying a Snickers
Hold on.
of hell.
Hold on. Gas station of hell?
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, I'm just trying to imagine this, right?
So
Okay.
that already implies that there is common transportation in
Right.
hell.
Mm-hmm.
So demons going to their respective pits to whip their respective people in hell.
Right. And, I mean,
So there's common transmute in hell.
so, when you're checking out, do the demons, like, insult you? Is that, you know...
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Like,
Do
like,
you have to fight them to take...
are there like,
Whatever you want?
what's the hourly rates of demons?
Maybe
You
our
know,
soul's
that's a great
currency?
question.
Is there a pink tax in hell?
There's a gas station.
Is there
so
a
there's-
wage gap in hell?
This is a gas station. What's their fuel?
Souls?
And currency?
Souls?
Everything. It's like
It's Dark Souls.
It's Dark Souls.
It's
Souls.
the energy of hell.
Souls.
All right, so yeah, you're a fan. You're a bit of fan of Spawn.
Yeah, I like Spawn. I'm a casual reader of Spawn.
I've honestly never read it. Just
I have volume 1 if you need to borrow
what
it.
I've heard from you guys. And...
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, I've gotten that.
Yeah, it's got some weird tips to it.
We did a Spawn video for you guys, FYI. We have a Spawn video.
Yeah,
the
so
Who
check
is
out,
Spawn video.
Who is Spawn? Kind of cover that.
Like, without spoiling much, like, it's like a weird alternate world where, like, the God and the devil are, like, brothers, and they were created by, like, the mother of all existence in, like, this, world.
Okay.
And, they're like, so Spawn himself is what's known as a Hell Spawn, and he's like a general of Hell's armies, one of the many. And, like, he keeps growing in power by killing other demons that are trying to get him to do his job, because he's like, nah, I don't wanna.
As well as heaven sending angels to get
Just
rid of
like, heaven, demon on earth, bad, throw angels at it till it stops moving.
Well, he later gained angels as allies. Like, Angela was his ally before she moved with Marvel.
And then there's the heaven spawn thing, I forget what it's called.
The anti-spawn.
Yeah, but doesn't have I think it's like the Redeemer.
The Redeemer.
Yeah, something like that. And like at a point like Spawn has fought and defeated both Satan and God. And like then he like had a talk with Mother Existence. It's crazy. It's all over the place.
Because Mother Existence is like, hey, my kids are having hissy fits. Can you put them in check?
Can you put him in timeout? Yeah, I'm just gonna go put God in timeout for a second.
He's been bad today.
Bad. You've been bad, Jehovah.
Yeshua, sit down.
Yeshua. What are other names for like the Abrahamic God?
Well, Yeshua is actually Jesus in Hebrew.
Yeah, but
And
like
then,
I mean, like
Jehovah Jireh means God the provider.
there are some churches and like some denominations that believe God, the Holy Spirit, and like Jesus are all the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a weird, like, that is something, honestly, in, even in deep theological classes at Christian schools.
It's kind of vague.
That it's like,
are they different figures? Are they the same thing?
Trying to explain it, it's like, okay, I understand. And then they say something else and you're like, I don't get it anymore.
Yeah, but
it's really hard.
It's because you're dealing with ancient scriptures
Right.
from like thousands of years
That
ago.
people are still trying
And
to translate.
there's things lost in translation. It's just you'll never get the exact perfect translation because just it's how things work. Things
Well,
get
like,
lost in translation.
Even learning bits of Hebrew and Greek, just like the word love, agape,
Mhm.
in Greek, has so much more
To
like
it.
meaning to it. And so, yeah, trying to understand all of the cultural context and then also understanding that ancient cultural context is different than modern Greek cultural context.
It's kind of
So-
like, have you ever seen the translation meme?
No.
It's so stupid. It's like someone will make like a really cute aesthetic post. It's like a couple kissing on a starlit bridge, and it's like in Russia they don't say I love you. They say dos bleche malini, like just some Russian text.
Yeah, right.
It's like, which roughly translates to never leave my side and always be with me. And then it just shows someone putting it in Google Translate and it actually says eat the flesh of the non-believers.
Jesus.
Like, it's people making false translations and lying to people on purpose to confuse them.
And then there's
Flesh of
tattoos.
non-believers.
And then
I
there's...
just made shit up off the top of my head,
And
but
then
like
there's-
it's jokes like that.
No, you know what's even better?
Hmm.
Instead of, the pretty text, tattoos.
Oh,
Oof.
that would be. Ooh.
Like those kind of dudes who get Chinese text on in tattoos and they have no idea what it means. Like just because they don't know Chinese. It's like I want warrior in Chinese on my arm, and then like they could tattoo asshole on your arm for all you know because you don't read Chinese.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
a
couldn't-
gamble
I
with
could
getting
not
foreign
do it.
languages
Yeah.
and
I
tattoos.
could not do it. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, unless
It's a good
there's
thing your tattoo is in plain bold English.
yeah, a lot of people, because the script of it is kind of strange.
I can read it just
I
fine.
know, I know, but a lot of people, when they first glance at it, they're like, is that foreign? Oh, no, it's,
No,
yeah.
no. It's English.
Yeah, it happens.
It just
pretty
has like
often.
some marks on top.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, so what's the next one?
we're going to Marvel.
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 Amazing Spider-Man: Renew Your Vows #2.
What?
Amazing Spider-Man.
It is probably one of my favorite new comics. Not as a Spider-Man fan. It's actually Spider-Man Back to Basics with bonuses.
So, Renew Your Vows is referring to what?
Him and MJ. It's an alternate universe where him and MJ never broke up,
Okay.
and they have a
Because
kid.
in One More Day didn't happen.
One More Day did not happen because his
For
original.
those who have never heard of One More Day, it is considered to be the worst Spider-Man book ever made.
It's cat shit.
It's not even bullshit, because at least bullshit is catchy.
I have a cat. His name is Garfield. And Garfield went to the kitty litter and he dropped One More Day.
He produced
in the box.
he produced one of the worst comics. The comic's so bad it makes me angrier just thinking about it.
Whoop whoop!
Which is why
Garfield is a wee devil.
Weird devil, he makes weird literature when shits.
But
I call him El Diablo.
He sat in my bed the other day and he shit out a PDF file of my immortal.
with a bonus USB of Agony and Pink.
Oh god!
Anyway, okay, to explain Renew Your Vows, originally it was a tie-in series to Secret Wars
Okay.
that was so popular, they never broke up and have a kid together. Her name's Anna Parker.
Okay.
It's not Mayday. For those who are trying to
Mayday is
confuse-
like main universe stuff, right?
potential main universe. So like futures that may or may not come. kind of
Yeah,
things.
like are they still wibbly wobbling on 2099 still happening? Like,
Oh, it's
it
confirmed.
may happen.
No, it's confirmed.
It's definitely happening.
It's the set future for Marvel.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Because I remember a while ago they just said it's a potential future.
Nope, it's a set future.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I'm cool with
Especially
that.
the fact that
Man, fashion reforms in the 2080s are gonna be fucking weird.
No, here's the thing though. What confirms
Like,
2099?
have you seen how people dress in the 2099 universe?
Silly.
Mhm.
It's so weird.
No,
Yeah,
here's
I
like,
saw a lot of 29.
oh my god,
no,
it looks
here's-
so dumb.
Here's the thing that confirms.
Like Batman Beyond looked more condensed and like realistic.
Yeah, but Cole, to explain why 2099 is solidified.
Mhm.
Guess what's the main competitor to Parker Industries? Alchemax.
Alchemax. Oh.
Guess who founded Alchemax? I feel like this is like basically like Marvel's trying to tie it together. You know how?
Doom.
No,
Hmm.
Osborn.
He would. He would.
So the root of all evil in every Spider-Man.
The root of all evil is tied to the root of all evil in the future. Who would fucking thought?
Anyway, so renew your vows.
Oh,
I would have never guessed that.
Oh, the devil rules hell? That's a thing I never thought.
What? Jesus is the savior of mankind?
What?
All right. Anyway.
Water is wet.
All right. So
Obvious
we
statements.
still have to talk about renew your vows.
Yes.
So renew your vows. I read it. It's probably one of the best things. It has a great moment where Peter. It shows some of the best character growth for Spider-Man and his status from an alternate universe. First issue, he has to deal with Venom, and Venom was threatening to kill MJ and his kid, and Peter's like, no more. I am not, after this, you're not going to jail. I'm going to fucking kill you.
Hell nah.
And he killed Venom. Brutally.
Wow.
He dropped a burning building on him.
A whole building. Not just one floor. The whole building.
On fire.
I think Batman could take some notes
Yeah.
from,
Drop buildings on
and,
people.
so
on the Joker specifically. Just say, like, literally.
I mean, 1989, Batman killed the Joker.
Yes,
Dropped him
that's
down
true.
a bell tower.
Yeah.
That's true. It's just so frustrating with the whole, like, wasn't it Under the Red Hood where...
Oh, yeah, Jason Todd, his speech.
Something, like forgetting the entire graveyards he's filled.
Yeah.
Something, sadistic garbage. Something, Crimea River, Jason Todd.
But, renew your vows.
Something, write a fucking book.
Actually updated a lot of Spider-Man stuff pretty hilariously. You know how Spider-Man's job at the Daily Bugle is a photographer?
I just want to put it out right there. I love Batman Under the Red Hood. It is a fantastic story. I don't want anyone to think that I was making fun of it there. I am just poking fun. It is a fantastic story.
But, they actually, how, like, people wonder, like, how does Peter Parker get good images?
Mm-hmm.
He has a drone follow him and take pictures.
Because that's not weird. Like,
Yeah.
don't you think someone would get suspicious of that? Like, why is Spider-Man constantly being followed by a drone?
But, one thing's pretty cool. MJ has, a suit that gives her spider powers.
Why?
'Cause-
Just because everyone in Peter Parker's life needs to be a spider.
No, the thing is, like,
Everything.
in story, it makes, okay, you are right, Cole, but in story it makes sense. Because, MJ's like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of worrying for you. I'm gonna fight with you, so I know you're safe.
Okay.
Woman, he has survived intergalactic war. I think he's okay fighting dudes with guns.
But it's still...
I know, I'm just playing around.
But, also...
So where does she get the suit?
Okay, during the original series, he fought a villain named Region. He had a power suit that takes powers from other superheroes. Peter Parker basically reverse engineered the technology, so basically it saps a little bit of his power into her. So they basically share each other's power.
Okay.
That sounds dangerous, but okay.
Yeah, it does.
I
I
mean,
mean, does it drain him?
it's more or less like
Leaves him weaker?
it's
Or-
more or less he's a hotspot and she's a phone with Wi-Fi.
Okay,
But
so...
then that still drains batteries like a motherfucker.
I mean, they haven't said it doesn't hurt, so the comic did say it doesn't hurt, so...
Okay.
I
But-
just think I don't know. I've just never been a huge fan of series where multiple characters have the same power.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little lazy in terms of like making different characters because with the technology available in the Marvel universe, they think if they really wanted to get MJ out there, like I don't know, give her the Scorpion suit. I'm sure Mac done using it.
I mean, or in, I remember in an issue of the main Spider-Man series, she wore the Iron Spider armor for a bit.
Sure, fine. At least it's somewhat different.
But I will say last issue was pretty good because there was like a backup story. It was just Peter and his daughter just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to swing by because he forgot groceries, and she was like hanging on to it. And he's all Sandman. It was funny. He's like, "Hey Sandman, you did say I owe you a favor for saving your mom. Can you watch my daughter real quick and not rob the bank?"
That's a horrible idea, Peter.
No, here's the thing. Sandman's actually like okay because here's the thing. Sandman has like one of those villains. He has several rules. He doesn't hurt kids.
Okay, like Deadpool.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's still a lot of
but
trust to put in.
Definitely not getting the Dad of the Year award.
I mean, the thing was, the comic was meant in a humorous light. It wasn't meant to be 100. It's like Squirrel Girl.
Oh.
It was kind of like one of those series.
Like, it was intentionally meant to be a joke?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a backup story.
Gotcha.
Okay.
The main story is pretty good. They're fighting Mole Man, which is one of those villains. I'm like, really? It's like, where do you go after fighting like powerful villains? You fight the Mole Man.
Mole Man.
The world's angriest homeless man.
I thought that was Spawn.
Oh, you're right.
Ah!
I wish you guys could have seen Chris's face. He like you could see that you could hear the gears cranking in his head after I said that.
But Renew Your Vows, it's still really good. I highly recommend it. It's a lot better. It's written by Gary Conway, the guy who wrote Death of Gwen Stacy.
Mm.
So it has some lineage, and Gary Conway is also working on the Carnage solo series.
Like the old school
Yeah.
Death of Gwen Stacy?
Yeah, and his writing style is still pretty good.
Okay.
It's like, you know how it's like, if he gets like, oh my god, Stanley's writing a new comic, you read it and you're like, oh yeah, Stanley's a great writer, but he's a great writer back in the 60s.
Yeah?
He really hasn't evolved. Like, he still writes stories that are like very, very
Old
60s.
school.
Oh man, and back in that day, they just like...
They were ahead of their time back in the day, but then again...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the time...
They're pretty dated now.
Like, yeah, I mean, if you read them now, it's like, why does it seem like they're just narrating their own life?
Yep.
Like, that's
Yep.
what it always feels like, and it's
Mhm.
just, it's kind of annoying.
Very melodramatic.
I'm now
too.
going to stand up and get myself a glass of water!
Well, like, Lady Thor, or Thor Goddess of Thunder.
Mm.
It was the second volume, and at the very end, they included a comic that was, like, from back in the day. They kind of tweaked it a little bit.
Okay.
But same,
It was like a really old Thor comic?
Yes,
Okay.
but it was like Thor Goddess of Thunder, like back in the old days. So
Okay.
it's like got the same old school art style, and then it's got that old school way of writing. And I'm not gonna lie, I struggled. I struggled.
Alright. I think this is the longest we've ever talked about this week's comics in an episode.
I think it's kind of great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun.
There's a
I
lot
mean,
to talk about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any other?
anything else?
Last, we're going to go with Valiant.
Okay.
Wrath of the Eternal Warrior, number 14.
Wrath of the Eternal Warrior.
Eternal Warrior, he's kind of like similar to X of Manowar, but instead of being like a time displaced knight who was displaced due to actual physics, Eternal Warrior is just a story about an immortal who wants to die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's basically
So
this
a lot
barbarian.
of fan fiction stories. Gotcha.
Well, from what I heard, it's decent.
Okay. Like I've never even
What
heard of it
era?
until now.
Is...
I
Like,
believe
how old is he? Like,
several thousand years old.
okay.
Okay.
Like,
He looks like, I was going to say the way he's dressed, it looks like either like a barbarian or maybe a knight or maybe medieval.
okay.
Okay,
So
well, if he's medieval, then that's like around the year 1000, 1100.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
1,000 years old.
like the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barbarian, it would have
Like-
to go even way further back than that. So,
Yeah. So like it's clear none of us have read this story.
I mean,
Like,
I heard it every night. I learned about this character through Divinity. I mean, he made an appearance.
Yeah. I read Divinity Volume 1. It's just I felt so bad when I read Divinity Volume 1 because so many random Valiant characters showed up and I'm like,
Who are you?
I don't know any of these fuckers.
And
Who
they
are
seem-
these people?
And they seem pretty cool.
It's like
No,
it's like
definitely.
going. It's the equivalent of somebody watching like Young Justice,
Without knowing any DC stuff.
knowing no DC
Like
stuff.
they
so-
just know Batman.
yeah, you know Batman and Superman.
And it's just like, who's the fuck? Aqualad? What?
Artemis, yeah. Miss Martian, what? Like what?
No, but like
That's-
that's how I felt. Like I read
Hello, Megan.
I read Divinity. And like just all these Valiant characters show up. I thought this was gonna be a standalone. Just it's about this guy, this one dude. But no, it's like this huge crossover and all these.
So it was like their secret wars, and
I'm just
you
like,
were
who are these losers?
That's awesome.
I mean, X of Manowar is still pretty cool.
Yeah, I still need to I want to read more Valiant because like some of the characters in Divinity seemed pretty interesting.
Yeah, and one of them was Eternal Warrior.
Yeah. All right, so that's all the comics we got for this week.
Yeah.
All right. So, Caitlin and I talked about this, and we wanted to cover a very interesting subject. Like, we really want to get to know our audience, and if we're going to do that, we want our audience to know us. And what is one thing that all teenagers and 20-year-olds all have in common? We've worked shitty jobs at some point. We've
Yep.
all had a job that we don't like.
and if you
Some
haven't,
of us still in there.
we hate you.
If you just have a good job that you keep your entire life, go eat a dick.
or if you didn't have to work.
Fuck you.
we
And like we're gonna
love you, you rich bastard, but
And
we
if-
also hate you.
And if you're looking
for-
for a job, we support you.
Yeah, and for strange, completely unintentional reasons, we have mentioned religion a lot this episode, so let's try and avoid that for the rest of the episode.
Oh, sure, no problem.
And let's just talk about Like, how many times did we just get on a tangent talking about religion? It was really weird. It was like 3 or 4 times.
I think they were all relevant.
Yeah,
then
we
again,
were talking about Superman, and we were talking about, like,
Optimus Prime.
dumb jokes.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Didn't help we talk about Spawn as well.
Still, yeah.
I mean,
a
Spawn,
lot.
literally, his story
About
is...
God,
yeah.
devils, blah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it was all relevant, but, like, it was really overbearing for a lot of the episodes. So let's talk about jobs.
Jobs. Okay, so, Cole, currently you're not really working.
I just ended a temporary job a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I was working at a construction cleaning company called Daisy Fresh.
Right.
And so I was going on to construction sites, sweeping up gravel, scrubbing bathrooms, making sure they're good, because I was in a hotel being constructed called the Dolphin.
Okay.
So, like, I had, like, a razor, and I was, like, scraping, like, congealed dirt and shit off of tile floors and bathtubs, and then I, like, picked up grabbed brooms and sweep up gravel and clean up after construction workers and shit.
So I imagine, like, in construction, especially when you first start, and if you're, like, the youngest guy there.
Oh, I was definitely... unless there was another... unless it was, like, children of the people already working there, I was the youngest person there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you think you definitely got that, like,
What's this fucking preschooler doing here?
What's this greenie doing here, you know? Yeah.
No, actually, surprisingly, no.
Okay,
like,
good.
I
good.
didn't have anyone, like, pester me or be an asshole. Like, a lot of
I feel like a lot of construction, that's kind of common, honestly.
The
like,
greenhorn.
Yeah.
Pick
It's
on
like, yeah, you go
Haze
pick that
the
up.
new kid.
Haze the new kid, basically, yeah.
No, actually, it was surprising how well I was treated. It
That's
was, like,
awesome.
That's
like,
really good.
all the dudes were, like, super, super cool with me. Like, I'd be carrying around, like, a huge fucking garbage bag full of broken cinder blocks. And, like, the bag tears, and I'm just like, son of a fucking bitch. And I start sweeping it up, and, like, another guy's like, here, I'll help you. And he starts sweeping
awesome.
the rocks into the bag with me.
Well, that's a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really felt closer to my common man by, because that's really all it was. Just a bunch of dudes who know what they have to do, so they just do it.
Right.
Because they know if they're dicks to people, they're not, if you have time to be dicks to someone, you're not doing your job. That means you're not getting paid.
Right, obviously.
Because there's managers walking all over the place. If you're not working, you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
So just do your shit.
Yeah.
And if someone's fucking up and it's not their fault, help a fucker out.
Yeah.
Just help each other. You're all trying to accomplish the same goal. So, like, I really have nothing to complain about for my construction work job.
Good.
And
but
if
you worked at Wendy's before
Oh
that.
God.
Before working a construction job that I actually fairly enjoyed, I was paid well, and I was doing a job that, yeah, it was hard, but I felt it was worth the pay.
Work is work.
Before that, I worked at Wendy's, and I worked at Wendy's for almost 2 years. And it was a fucking nightmare. I hate it every day. Man, I gotta say, if you're listening to this podcast right now, if you're working in fast food, I'm sorry. And that's why, ever since I worked at Wendy's, I have incalculable levels of respect for people working fast food, because I've been there. I know how much it sucks. I know it sucks. But trust me, you're gonna hit your stride. You're gonna find a new thing. I did. I'm doing this podcast with my friends, and I couldn't be happier. Just, I don't know. Like, trust me, you'll find a better place. And if you're enjoying what you're doing,
on you.
Fucking
More power to you.
Good on you, yeah.
Fucking A+, man.
So what can you say, like, what's just a story that comes right to mind when you think of how awful Wendy's was?
Okay. I don't want to, like, ever say names, because, like, when they weren't on the clock, they were pretty nice people.
Right.
But I swear, they put me in all the positions that they knew I hated intentionally. Like, I could do anything. The grill. Flipping burgers, that's fine. I can flip burgers all goddamn day. Burgers, cleaning, talking to customers, doing shit outside, like taking care of the trash, sweeping shit up. I could do any position. Cashier, anything. I hated working the fries. The fryer was the absolute worst. I felt I was boiling alive. Like, just, it's shitty. It was always during the lunch rush. It was fucking miserable, and I hated it. And they knew I hated it, and they just continuously did that, no matter what. Regardless. They could have someone doing it, and they were just put there. And they'll put me there anyway for the lunch rush.
Right.
It was so bullshit, and I hated it so much. It was, like, I was cursing the name. Like, I would see... I would, like, because you know how they usually ask for names for people in the dining room so they can call them out? Right. I would see, like, oh, George ordered a 20-piece nugget meal and a large fry, and I was like, fuck you, George. And it's like, oh, Trixie ordered this, and I'm like, fuck you, Trixie. and then, like, Jamie comes up and just, like, small fry, and I'm like, you know, okay, you're fine, Jamie.
Jamie, it's alright, man.
Jamie.
It's okay.
We good.
And then you had your liberation.
I wouldn't even say it was much of a liberation. It was just one day where I swear, I think it was like a week away from working there 2 years. Mm-hmm. Like, if I would have been there another week, I would have been working 2 years. But I just reached a boiling point. I reached a point, and they put me on fries, and I'm just like, no. I took off my apron and I left. I didn't make a show out of it. I was just like, no, I quit. And I left.
And then I remember you called me up.
Hold on. I see you in your car driving away from Wendy's, and you were just the happiest mother chunker.
I could prove it. I can prove it. He called me up that day.
I think it was just like, I sat in my car, and I was dead silent in my car for like maybe 5 minutes, and I'm just like, doot. Chris?
Yeah?
I just quit my job.
I was concerned for a bit.
I just quit my job.
I was like, are you alright? Are you cool?
I feel like I've been walking with a hunchback for 30 years, and I've just stood up straight for the first time.
And I was like, do you want to hang out?
Yeah, let's go get lunch. It was like the end of a horror movie where they killed the monster and they gotta go, like, continue their lives now. They become stronger people.
This just popped in my head, you singing, like, the Liberation song from Les Miserables. Can you hear the people singing the songs of angry men?
So you didn't really have a liberation, you more have a 1 minute revolt and then ended.
Revolution!
Viva Revolution!
Oh, God. I do have one story, and it's hilarious that I had that whole spiel about not bringing religion up again, but, like, this is, again, I feel it's relevant, because, I'm gonna let Caitlin take the torch after a second. I just want to tell this one story, because it's probably one of the weirdest moments.
Okay.
I always worked early in the shift. Like I just said, I mostly was there during the lunch rush. Mm-hmm. They needed extra hands during the lunch rush. But there was one time where I was called in for extra hours to work a night shift. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I need money. So I go in, I'm working, and there's one customer in there, and we're just about to close the lobby. And he's sitting there, and, like, I walk by him, and, because I'm, like, cleaning up the soda machine, just doing, like, closing stuff. And I ask him if he needs anything, and, like, his voice is kind of hoarse. Like, he sounds like he has, like, a sore throat or something, and he's like, no, I'm fine. And, like, his voice sounds like he's got a sore throat or something. And I'm like, okay. I walk away, and then I go clean the bathrooms. When I come out of the bathroom after finished cleaning the men's room, he's on his cell phone. And I swear, the dude was talking in tongues. Like, demonic, just like...
Oh, yeah! You told me this. I remember the next day you told me in fear. Like, I think
it sounded like no language I've ever heard. Like, I've heard people speaking Chinese around me. I've heard people speaking Japanese around me, and I can tell the difference. I've heard people speak in Spanish, Portuguese, German. I've heard all these different languages. Yeah, I don't speak them, but I can tell when I'm hearing it.
Right.
I've heard Russian. I've heard so many different things. But this sounded like nothing I've ever heard before. It sounded like he was speaking in fucking ancient Latin. Just... Diabolus.
Caitlin, what's the villainous, like, Dovahkiins in Skyrim called? Like, the evil, like, ones that speak in, like, the shouts and stuff.
The Draugr?
The Draugr. Mm-hmm. Like, he was, like, there was a Draugr in...
Just the Wendy's, just tables start randomly catching fire as he's speaking.
That's awesome.
The grill explodes in
Yeah,
the back.
I
That's
remember.
what it was. He learned the ancient Nordics language.
Oh,
of Skyrim.
yeah, definitely.
And-
Yeah, I remember you told me this. The next
Turns out he was just speaking Klingon.
No, Cole.
What?
I remember the next day you told me in fear that you swear. Like, I think for baby, you said
I
he's
think
like,
I met the devil last
you
night.
met the devil last
And
night.
he looks like an old, fat, balding guy. I met the devil last
the
night.
devil is a part-timer.
That is a great anime. Everyone
Really
should watch
It's
that.
great.
It's awesome.
All right, Caitlin, you got any stories about really
Um,
shitty times while you were working?
I've got a couple.
Or just
so-
interesting stories?
So one of them was just weird. Okay, again, religion.
Should we,
Bad.
should we mention where you work at?
We
So,
should just
okay, first of all, I work
work
at two
and
places.
religion episode.
I work at two places right now. Chick-fil-A and Regal movie theaters.
Mhm.
And this was at Chick-fil-A, and this guy comes in, and he just seemed like he was in a weird mood, and he starts just ranting to me
Mhm.
about like Christianity and the church and how it all sucks and it's all corrupt. And
Was he like a Christian guy talking about the wrongs of churches or something?
no, it seemed like
Oh,
it
like a
was
really
just-
angry atheist guy?
yeah, something like that, you know.
So-
and he's like, "All you Chick-fil-A people," and I
Oh,
was
all
like,
you do is hate the gays and
Yeah.
you're evil.
"Yeah, all of us,
Did he-
all
Mhm.
the entirety of every single person
As
that works
he's-
at Chick-fil-A."
As he's screaming at a woman working there, bisexual.
yeah,
Is he
it's just
screaming
like,
at a bisexual behind the counter?
and I had no idea how to respond. I didn't.
I mean, I wouldn't
I
either.
honestly, I
So-
didn't say a single
How
word.
old did this guy look?
He was probably early 40s. Is
Wow.
where I would put him.
Most times when I see like really aggressive douchebag atheists,
Late
like
teens,
see,
early 20s.
like I'm an atheist, but I respect people.
Right.
Like, I mean, Caitlin right here is a Christian, and like I respect her up and down, and like because I'm not a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like I respect people's religions, and like you're free to make whatever decisions you want, and like yeah, like most times when I see like angry douchebag atheists, it's usually people like my age, like teenagers to early 20-year-olds.
Right.
And you're saying this guy was like in his mid 40s?
Yeah, he looked like
Yikes.
early to mid 40s.
So
and
just this.
it was so strange, and like
So-
honestly, I just went through the motions of the usual questions and,
Mhm.
and things
Yeah.
that I would ask. Would you like any sauces?
Did he order
You
something?
know, you ordered
Okay.
food.
So he's bitching about Chick
So,
Fil A.
so he's bitching about how Chick-fil-A is evil
And
and
he's
like how
ordering
it's a
food.
corrupt Christian organization or whatever.
Yeah, and
And-
how all
and-
Christians are
and yet-
terrible.
and yet he ordered
And yet he
food.
still ordered food. So that's literally like going to a charity that you don't support and
And-
giving them money still.
Yeah.
That is walking hypocrisy.
What the fuck?
That is walking hypocrisy.
Yeah. It's awful.
You know, you're a total piece of shit and I don't support you. I'd like one large.
honestly,
That is so
Are
weird.
you a Christian? Good. I hate you.
That-
Now
no-
give me some food.
No, actually, that reminds me. Cole, have you ever seen Poultry Guys?
I've seen it.
Remember the scene where I forgot the guy's name, but he's like, "You gotta get out of here. This place is on ancient burial ground. We gotta get out of here." He's like stops for a second. He's like, "Can I also have the number 2 large?"
All right, so like, how did this continue? So you're just going through the motions,
Yeah,
doing your job.
Honestly, that's really the extent. It was just such a strange day. Like,
See, the fact that he still ordered something is the weirdest part
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
and it crazy too. Like nobody else. Like there were other people working at the time, but they were kind of like near the drive-through window
They
and
were
stuff like that.
occupied
So I was the
already.
only person at the front counter.
Like, does he
Only
think
person
he's
that really
any
used to
better
it.
harassing people when they're trying to work?
I don't know, man.
See, like, because like I'm.
Because
of
it
the-
made me so horribly uncomfortable.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I definitely.
I don't think anyone could keep a totally like iron vice-like stature after being yelled at by some dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, no, like they're like I'm trying to get into the mindset of this guy because you said he's like in his mid-40s.
Yeah.
Like, I understand being pissed off because I'm pissed off almost all the time. But like, I understand that other people are trying to live their fucking lives, man.
yeah.
Like, don't just go around yelling at people.
Yeah.
Like, because there are shitty people from all walks of life, regardless of religion, race, sexual orientation, regardless. Any any type of person has the potential to be a colossal fucking asshole.
And if you walk around with that type of like hatefulness and mentality towards people,
you're just gonna come across like a douchebag too.
And simply and only because they have a particular belief system, it's like, you know, how are you?
Unless that belief system is murder babies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Murder babies to appease Cthulhu.
Of course. But I'm just saying, like, if you walk around with that chip on your shoulder and then you're hanging out with somebody, you really like them, you're having a great time, and then, oh, you're a Christian? You know, like how is that?
Why? Like, I remember, like, I made a tweet a while ago. It's just like, why be angry over things that don't affect you?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
seriously.
It's true. So, on a, like, funnier and happier note, I used to work
we need some positivity now.
When I was younger, a few years ago. And so I had a short haircut.
This was a month ago.
Yeah, it was a month ago, actually.
It was last week. 30 seconds before the recording started.
My hair used to be pretty short back then. And working at Publix, you wear aprons and stuff like that. And by the way, if you're listening to this from a different part of the country, Publix is a grocery store. So it's only common in the Southeast.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I remember this one day, bagging groceries, which is what I did every day, and old man
daily products
and his wife come through the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I had a short haircut, and like...
Can I take a wild guess how this ends?
Yes.
Did they think you were a boy?
They thought I was a dude.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So it's super awkward.
I don't even get that, because even when you had short hair, you were still feminine. Like, you don't look androgynous at all.
And I don't sound like a dude.
Yeah.
You don't. Like,
I have such a feminine voice.
You don't even look androgynous in the slightest.
Yeah.
So
you still looked like a cute girl with short hair.
I don't know.
Maybe they just had bad eyes.
I guess. But
yeah.
this
I have a story similar to this.
This old man, comes up to me and he starts talking about, I used to work for a grocery store when I was a young boy. And
what did you say, Horace?
Best part though was just like, and the best part was working with the pretty ladies. And he winked at me, and then he's like looking at the girl that was at my register, and I was just like,
did you say anything?
I didn't say anything, and offered to help them out with their grocery cart, which is just a thing that we do at Publix, and he's like, no, I got it, and he starts walking.
I imagine you just looked at the other person at the register.
I looked at the other person at the register, and she was like, hey, don't get any bright ideas.
Okay. Awesome. As long as we're talking about people being mistaken for the wrong gender, I have another Maverick story.
Oh.
So,
oh God.
one time I was hanging out with the OG Tony D, our big boy Anthony. It was me, Anthony, and Maverick.
Okay.
And we were just hanging out in my room. So I'm sitting there. And my grandfather shuffles over in his slow little jaunt. Mm-hmm. His little shuffle. More shuffles than a shuffleboard, that man.
Yep.
So he goes over to my door, and when I lived with my parents at this age, this was back when, you can't let the teenage boys be around the girls when the parents aren't home, and so, you know how it is. I'm sure when you were younger, you couldn't have boys over at your place and stuff like that.
Yeah. And if I did, they had to be home, the door had to be open, all that stuff.
Stuff like that when you're younger. When you're fucking 15 or 14 or whatever. Young.
Yeah.
So, I'm with Anthony and Maverick, and my grandfather shuffles in, and he points to Maverick, and just says, "Whose girlfriend?" And there's a solid 15 seconds of dead awkward silence. Because I'm kind of just typing away at my computer. Anthony's doing something. I think he was playing on a Game Boy or something. I can't remember. But we were kind of just hanging out. I think Maverick was reading one of my books. I think I was doing homework at the time.
Oh
and I hear my grandfather say that. And I'm just slow turn. like James Bond style, villain turn in my chair.
I bet the minute he said that, you hear the record board screech.
just like slow turn to him, and like we're all just looking at him. Awkward silence, and then me and Anthony almost at the exact same time point to Maverick and go, "It's a guy. He's a dude."
That's a boy.
And then he doesn't even apologize. He just goes, "Oh," and shuffles away. Like, what? You just called a man. Well, guy, boy. None of us were men yet. We were like 15.
Oh my.
Just called a guy a girl to his face. And then doesn't apologize and just walks away. Just, okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
Poor
dun. That's it, y'all.
Oh my god.
Poor little baby.
Oh,
That was
Oh my god.
that was an eventful time in the Grissom family
That
home.
is awesome. Hey, I mean, Maverick and I, we can just start our own little club. Club of people who've been mistaken for the
Club
opposite
misgendered.
gender. Club misgendered.
Club triggered.
So the minute you guys get called a girl, you know, Maverick and I will just like poof. And then we'll be like, welcome to our club.
Welcome to our club. You are triggered. You are triggered. You are triggered.
I was thinking more like they're like the veggie police in Scott Pilgrim.
Halt, vegan police.
The vegan police, but
Halt, misgendering police. You called on the Saturday, March 11th, 2020. You called Caitlin Jackson a man.
And now we're taking you in, and
now-
we're taking you down.
And we're deleting your Tumblr account.
by the way, am I the one who was like find it hilarious? Their guns were just their fingers.
It's just their fingers with like a green light. De-veganizing Ray.
De-veganizing Ray?
You don't remember that?
No.
Have you not seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World?
Yes, it's been like 4 years.
Well, I just
since
said that-
I've watched.
I don't know. I just thought that was
know.
one of the funnier scenes. Just
I've only seen it maybe once or twice.
okay. Just when Todd was getting the vegan with his telekinetic powers, and just like you partook of a gelato, and it's like gelato's not vegan, milk and eggs, bitch.
Look at it.
And then it's like, and then on March 11th, you partook in a plate of chicken parmesan, and then like Todd's girlfriend's just like, and he's like, chicken isn't vegan. That's 3 strikes, boy. De-veganizing Ray.
Oh my.
Well,
that was solid.
Chris, I think you should round this out. End this. Tell us a story about your babysitting job.
All right, for those who don't know, I'm still in the process of getting the job. So as such, my sister offered babysitting. She pays me pretty well to watch her 2 kids. One's 3, one's 1. And
together they are a horrible tornado of children.
I love them.
I hate children in general, so
But you love you've seen them. You enjoy them.
don't you question me, Chris. I hate children. I just hate some children slightly less.
I just said that with so much conviction. How dare you question me?
How dare you take the rug from under me? You're embarrassing me in front of the internet.
You mean we did
The
it
internet
already?
just standing off to the side like,
But anyway, I got. Here's the thing: dealing with toddlers every day is its own story.
Oh, definitely.
I'm sure.
I know. One of my favorite stories. I actually have it recorded on my phone when I introduced my nephew to anime.
Yeah?
Have I showed you the video where he was watching? He was actually intently watching Fairy Tail.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Like,
that's awesome.
I did it
I
as
wouldn't
an experiment.
I wouldn't say Fairy Tail is the most appropriate for a 3-year-old boy.
Here's the thing, though. He was 2 at the time, and 2-year-olds forget everything in a week.
Probably, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't say I have any traumatic memories from when I was 2.
here's the thing. My brother.
I think like the scariest memory I can actually recall from me being young, I think I was like 6.
Mhm.
I think I was like 6 years old. And I was in the shotgun seat of my dad's truck. And he put on WJRR 101.1, which is a rock music station and here in Florida. I don't know how like radio stations in other states and stuff. I don't know, but it's a rock station. And this is like I was like 6 years old, and Down with the Sickness from Disturbed comes on. I'm 6 years old, and I'm just a little kid, and I just hear and it scared the shit out of me. it scared me so bad as a little kid.
But yeah, I put on Fairy Tale, and
Okay, so
he was intently watching it, and here's the thing: my sister got mad at me for putting it on, but then I was like, my brother-in-law puts on freaking the Fast and the Furious films with him.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's I wouldn't say
no.
that's good for 2-year-olds either.
So I'm like,
I mean, the worst of Fairy Tale, you just have occasional partial nudity.
You know what's the worst part about the first 2 Fast and Furious movies? Sluts that are dressed like 90s kids.
Oh.
It's so bad.
What?
So bad.
Oh, you don't know?
It's been
They've got that 90s look,
Yeah.
but they're slutty, and it's awful.
I'm trying to picture this in my mind.
So bad.
Like, I'm just imagining bright neon colors
Yep.
in, like, tube tops and booty shorts.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So it's...
And then, like, some of them had, like, pigtails.
So it's
It
like...
is-
So it's
oh.
like...
Britney Spears.
It's...
early.
Okay, hold on. It's like if you went to a strip club and the theme of that night was jailbait 90s girls.
Yes.
That's weird. Okay,
Yeah.
like, it's been...
weird. If you ever go back and watch the first 2 Fast and Furious movies, you'll see what I'm talking about. 2 Fast, 2 Furious is a perfect example. First 3 minutes of the movie, you're like, what
Butts?
is going on?
Okay.
But anyway, so I actually talked about babysitting on my Twitter today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like the
Oh, yeah,
ending
yeah.
of Doctor Strange, an endless loop of bargaining. Because here's the thing. when you-
Child, I've come to make a bargain.
No, here's the thing. Exactly, because here's the thing when you're dealing with toddlers. They won't listen to you. You
Well,
have
it's
to...
basically like, hey, if you put down that knife, I'll give you candy.
Pretty much. And even then, it's not even like Dormammu at the end. It's more like dealing with Cthulhu because they run on madness. Because literally, they want us, like, my nephew wants a PBJ. Sure. And he likes it in 4. He gets mad because I cut it in squares instead of triangles. No,
It reminds me of that thing you told me about with koalas and how they're so dumb. Like, if you give them the leaves that they normally eat, they'll eat it. But if you, like, take it off the tree and then put it on a plate and then put it in front of them, they don't know what to do with it.
Pretty much. No, here's the thing. My
Have you
nephew,
seen that?
No,
No, that's the thing.
hilarious.
Koalas are so dumb.
they're considered the
That's-
dumbest mammals of all time.
Wow.
They have a smooth brain. Their brains do not have, like, ridges at all.
Oh.
They have, like, a smooth walnut-like brain.
Ew.
And
like,
they live
I'm
in
getting such a disgusting visual.
They're also
Yeah.
I don't
very
like it.
pitiful.
Like, okay, do you want to know why a lot of koalas die? The leaves that they eat dissolve their teeth.
Uh-huh.
A lot of koalas just die of starvation because they just eat a food that destroys their teeth and then they can't eat anymore and they just die.
And it's obviously they ate something that obviously does not want to be eaten. Like, they could avoid it if they, like...
Kind of surprised, though, that their species hasn't, like, evolved, or...
I heard they evolved to eat something that...
Yes, there are some benefits to being a creature that is the only creature that eats a specific thing. Because then you never have to worry about food shortages. But, like, when it dissolves your teeth to the point of where your family starves to death because they don't have teeth anymore.
And, like,
So strange.
have you ever seen
Koalas are weird animals.
True Facts? The True Facts series on YouTube?
It's just like a dude doing, like, a shitty Morgan Freeman impression, and he just talks about animals.
He said literally, like, the best quote from him about koalas, like, they could avoid it if they would have eaten any other fucking thing.
Fair enough.
But, I have some other stories, babysitting. One that was, how my nephew woke me up.
Oh, yeah.
My,
He elbow dropped your dick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because,
He just climbed into Chris's bread. I said bread.
bread.
Climbed into
climbed
Chris's
into
bed.
his bread.
His bread pan. Chris sleeps in an oven. Because Chris likes to just crawl into a plate of bread dough and then shove himself in the oven.
I mean, I am a cinnamon roll, so I have to be baked.
Adorable cinnamon roll who must be protected at all costs. So, like, he climbs into Chris's bed and then just jumps and just lands all weight on Chris's nuts.
Intentionally elbow.
Just boom!
Here's the thing that happened though, because my uncle-in-law, because I live with my in-law, my sister's in-laws, because they had a space available and we needed to move somewhere fast, and my uncle-in-law at night puts on wrestling, and my nephew sleeps at 10.
Oh.
And he walks around the house usually.
Right.
So wrestling's on in the living room.
Yeah.
RKO out of nowhere!
No, you literally RKO'd me in the fucking nards. Like, Jesus. But, But my nephew also doesn't help my nephew. It's I love how my sister tries to make sure I don't show him violent stuff, and yet there's stuff on that he learns from anyway.
Yeah.
Like, there's a time where, he literally, I have a replica of the scissor blade from Kill la Kill.
Mm-hmm.
I was asleep one time.
Did he hit you with it?
On the head.
Oh, ow.
Oh, ow.
Luckily it's made of wood, but still.
Still.
Alright.
But he did help me out with one thing that's hilarious. He actually helped me build the scissor blade.
You mean the crescent rose?
The crescent rose, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have for those who don't know, I have a replica of the crescent rose, this scythe from Ruby.
Ruby's scythe from Ruby, RWBY.
Yeah, and when it came in the mail, it was in parts. So I was building it, my nephew actually helped. And he actually helped me. He actually helped me put it together. Like, he actually grabbed the screwdriver, he helped me with the nails, and it was probably the first time.
Work together right now. Build a scythe.
Also, I saw a video recently. My sister showed me a video about toddlers, and it's so true. There are different type of criers out there.
Okay.
And I feel sorry for my niece.
I love this is just the babysitting hour.
Right.
We've completely devolved to talk how to properly raise children.
Well, you guys had the fast food hour.
Yeah,
that's true.
Fast food hour.
So, okay, different types of crying.
My niece has a crying that actually is not good for her. She has the I could potentially suffocate cry.
Oh, the...
No, she goes like, she cries.
I did
she
that
goes,
when I was a kid.
No, she's like, cries like... And we had to tell her, like, breathe.
Oh.
No, I was definitely the kind of cry when I was a little kid.
Like, what your niece says, that is the most frustrating thing
Yeah.
for little kids, especially when they're babies, because she's the 1-year-old, right?
She's 1, yeah.
Yeah. When you got babies that do that, trying to explain to them, no, you need to inhale air or you are going to pass out. You know, like, that is... Oh, that's frustrating.
So... We told some stories. I think it's time we wrap up.
We had some laughs.
What did we learn today, campers?
Well, I learned that if you drop Chris in the nuts, nothing happens.
You are forgiven.
You are forgiven. And the grace of Christian McDonald shines down upon you.
So we
yeah.
talked a lot about comics, religion, and working shitty jobs. I think we covered a lot today.
Yeah, I think we made good progress.
As human beings.
Yep. So tune in next week when we just become a single person. We're going to fuse together, actually, this week.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing the fusion dance or are we using the earrings?
Oh, wait. Should we actually tease what we're going to do next week?
Sure.
Okay, next week. All right, so the three of us here. Chris, one of his dreams is to be a writer in comic books. Makes his own stories. Like, we're all passionate about comic books. We love comics. Why the hell don't we talk about it every week?
Right.
Chris wants to write his own comics. Yep. I want to write stuff. I don't care what it is. Comics, web comics, TV show scripts, film scripts, books, anything. I just want to tell stories that can make someone smile. I just want to brighten someone's day with some story that I've wrote. Because I have characters, ideas, and stories all up in my head. And I just want to share them with the world and make people happy. That's just like my dream. Caitlin wants to write books too. Novelist, has her own ideas for stories. Gonna be the next J.K. Rowling fused with a bunch of other people I'm sure she knows that I don't.
I do read a lot of books.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see the entire Harry Potter collection on your shelf right now.
Yep. And then I also have my, it's all 3 of the Lord of the Rings in one book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on that currently.
So we're all writers, and we love just the art of telling a story.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So to celebrate it, we're gonna have a special next week where we are going to read what is considered by many to be one of the worst fantasy stories of all time. And we're gonna have a little game where we're gonna take turns reading it, and if we laugh, we have to trade it off. And we're just gonna read the whole thing for you guys, and it's called The Eye of Argon.
So if you haven't, heard anything about it, just don't look into it.
Please.
Just let us introduce you to it next week. And believe me, it's gonna be...
I haven't read it in its entirety. I've read, the first chapter, because I've tried this game before, but then it just dilutes into a mess of laughing.
It's that bad?
It's... Oh my god.
Okay.
I've read maybe the first 2 chapters maybe 12 times, and I just can never get any further than that because it just breaks down into hysterical laughter.
I'm so excited.
Oh my god. So definitely tune in next week, guys.
And don't Google it. Please don't Google it.
Yeah, don't Google it. Just let us show you.
Let us enlighten you.
Yeah.
All right, you guys all have an awesome day. We'll see you all next time. And now we're going to go think of how to introduce the next episode.
I'm thinking
Mhm.
in a big shower of sparkles
We sing. We should sing.
as we pee a little.
Pee a little bit. We should do maybe a pirate shanty to introduce the episode.
That's good. Okay, let's practice right now. Ready?
All right.
Yo!